I did a little bit of digging after the most recent video, which I'll link in the description if you missed that one, about the Scientific Medical Journal where they had altered the belief in God by using magnetic waves. I asked Google how this could be deployed on a large scale. The answer was mass deployment could happen hypothetically. It said CRISPR-Cas9 would be too difficult to administer secretly. Because of that, a hypothetical bad actor would rely on viral vectors. Viral vectors are genetically modified viruses used as nanosyringes to deliver therapeutic genetic material into cells. One would be an aerosolized viral delivery. In a laboratory setting, scientists routinely use modified harmless viruses. These are used as a transport vehicle to carry gene editing tools into cells. Would need to be neurotropic viruses. That means they would need to cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside, the virus could rewrite the DNA of those specific brain cells. So I then wanted to know which virus is one of the neurotropic viruses. The answer said it would be a Trojan horse method. The virus doesn't cross the barrier alone. Instead, it infects a circulating white blood cell in the bloodstream. When that immune cell naturally migrates across the blood-brain barrier to go into the brain, it accidentally carries the hidden virus inside. HIV-1 is the one that does that. Another method would include rabies or herpes simplex. Those completely bypass the bloodstream and the blood-brain barrier. Those infect the peripheral nerve endings like a bite wound on an arm and literally walk backward along the nervous system, firing until they reach the spinal cord and brain. The last one is West Nile or Zika. Those are mosquito-borne viruses that attach directly to the surface receptors of the endothelial cells that form the tight walls of the blood-brain barrier. They then multiply inside the wall cells until they break through to the other side. That made me think of the GMO mosquitoes, and we know Zika is one of the viruses they say they're treating for. How about that? It goes through the wall cells over and over until they break through the walls. That sounds like Ezekiel 8, where it talks about digging a hole in the wall. Let's just think about that for a minute. Multiplying inside the wall cells until they break through. Ezekiel 8, verse 7, "Then he brought me to the entrance to the court. I looked, and I saw a hole in the wall. He said to me, 'Son of man, now dig into the wall.' So I dug into the wall and saw a doorway there." The next question I had was, how can this be avoided? The answer was, in a hypothetical scenario, metacognition and active re-anchoring were the answers. That means the practice of thinking about thinking. That reminds me of meditating on the Word of God. The active re-anchoring says it's regularly engaging in deep study, reading foundational texts, having conversations with other people. Those conversations would be centered around faith. So this shows me a scientific basis for meditating on the Word of God, for being in the Word constantly and studying. It's not just for spiritual growth. It might be for something far deeper than we could have ever imagined. It also mentioned habits, and that makes a lot of sense as well. Every day be in the habit of being in the Word, and that constantly helps to wire our brains. What we just talked about is how it would be done on a large, massive scale. I did ask specifically about Neuralink, and Neuralink is another way that it would work. Google's answer actually said how the tech bridges the distance gap. A brain implant bypasses the skull barrier and the inverse square law entirely. It even added the theoretical plan to mass manipulation. If an organization wanted to manipulate a population that already has these chips installed, they would not need to deploy sci-fi energy beams. They would simply use standard cyber warfare techniques, over-the-air updates. I'm also going to post a link for illuminating biodiversity, how they're barcoding and releasing mosquitoes. That's an older video that I had posted over on my Rumble channel. I'm not actively posting on there anymore, but there are some videos there which YouTube did not allow at the time. That video, they were modifying mosquitoes so the offspring would actually have a barcode in them that could be scanned. It's rather frightening and rather interesting at the same time.